Alexa, dismiss. Good morning, y'all. The time is currently 5:20 in the morning, and I'm getting ready for PT. This towel will wake you all the way up. Oh, it felt so good. So I have to be the PT at 6 o'clock this morning / 5:50. So get ready with me, and let's talk about a little bit of my experience of being in the military for 4 years now. I've been really liking this pork control rice plus LHA. As you can see, I don't have any more of it, so I need to get more, but it is really good, and I like to shave with it. Never did I think I would join the military, but I was at a point in my life where I feel like I didn't have anything else to live for, if I'm being honest, besides my family and my loved ones. And if I'm just being transparent, I feel like it was coming to a point where I don't I don't even know why I was living for them, because I couldn't live for myself. Life was extremely difficult at the time. I had been at a job for about, I think, maybe 6 months or a year. And then I moved to Pennsylvania, and I was not prepared for that move. And it set me in a place where I was financially unstable for so long. And I was just living life. I'm not even going to say I was just living life, because I was living very foolish. As some of you may know, and some of you may not know, shaving profiles in the military are not really a thing anymore. Yes, they are, but you need to go and get seen by your provider every 30 days. And then they will issue you a temporary profile for pseudofolliculitis, which is the condition for getting ingrown hairs and razor bumps because curly hair grows back into the skin. Now, me, honestly, I decided to bite the bullet on it. There is a lot of things that come with having a shaving profile. So, you gotta kind of pick your poison when it comes to the way you present yourself in the military. See, even with me shaving with this, sometimes my hairs get caught into the blade. So I know some of you are probably thinking, like, what do you mean bite the bullet? Like, if you can't shave, you can't shave. What I mean by bite the bullet is shaving can be very painful. It is very painful, especially when your skin has a mind of its own. Coming from a person who has always struggled with having sensitive skin, having acne. I've been in the military for 4 years. I'm 26 years old. I'm from Georgia. My MOS is 88 Mike. I am transportation. I'm currently stationed in Korea. My first duty station was Fort Riley, Kansas. I was there for 3 years, and I learned a lot at that duty station, and I mean a lot. I went from being a E1 to an E5, so I went through 5 ranks before I PCS, which was one of my goals. At one point, I wanted to get out of the military. Look at that, ill. At one point, I wanted to get out of the military. I wasn't happy. I also did not have a plan for what I wanted to do with my life. So I had to ask myself, and I also called a few people that was already retired and at a good spot in their life where they did military time and they got out with a plan. And a question that somebody asked me was, if you were to get out of the military right now, what would you do in your life for the next 6 years? Excuse me. And I didn't have an answer. I said nothing. So they said, I advise you to, sign another contract for either 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, and see where life takes you then. I'm also going to mix it in with some of this foam cleanser. And I was like, okay, cool. So at that point, I end up securing a bonus. And y'all know with bonuses, they aren't always available. They can fluctuate. Sometimes they can be there, sometimes they can't. And I re-enlisted for 6 years. Crazy, right? In my head, I didn't have a plan. So it was like either I re-enlist with no bonus or I re-enlist with the bonus and I pick where I want to go for my next duty station and I learn how to play my cards in this military stuff. It's been pretty fun here. Totally different from my last duty station. And this is kind of getting all over the place. But like I said, Fort Riley was my first unit. I learned a lot there. Like I said, I went from E1 to E5. There was a lot of ups and downs, a lot of good times, bad times, a lot of people I met, a lot of people I got a chance to learn from as well. Once again, not once did I ever think I would be in the military. I was living such a totally different lifestyle before I joined the military. I was a boy from Georgia, didn't come from a lot of money. I lived in a trailer park. And when I see trailer park, I know we think that our trailer parks are like ran down and dirty and stuff like that. Not shading anybody, but that was not the case for me. My trailer that I lived with my family was not like dirty and we had roaches and stuff. We just simply lived in a trailer park. It was a one, two, three, a 3 bedroom, the long ones. And it was just me and my mom for a while until she had my little brother. And we lived there for quite some time in Georgia. And I say all of that to say this is you just never know where you might end up one day. Because at that point in my life, I didn't come from a whole lot of money. My mom, she took very good care of us, but I just always knew in the back of my mind that like we could live so much better. Like we really could go from living in a trailer to a bigger house and a bigger yard and owning land and things like that. Like I just wanted to have so much more than just could just live so much better than how we were. Usually I have my morning tea, but I ran out. So just like most people, I was terrified. And this story cannot be told in 20 minutes. So I'm gonna kind of give you the short version. Now, like I said, I lived in Georgia for a lot of my life, and I was living in Augusta, Georgia, to be exact. So there was a time in my life, this was around 2018, 2019, where COVID hit. Things were extremely difficult for my family and I. My mom was going through some things, and we were not able to live how we wanted to and how we needed to. So me, I had moved away. I moved to Kansas with my dad. And my dad was extremely supportive and he helped me really understand what it was to be an adult. Around that time, I was around like 19, 20 years old. And the older I got, the more I realized that there was a lot of things that I didn't know as far as being an adult, being a man. And I'm very appreciative of that. You know, my dad was always in my life, but I was raised up by my mom. And, you know, it is totally different having your parents in the same household and them co-parenting, and obviously which parent you decide to live with. And I don't get me wrong, my dad always had the offer on the table to come and live with him. And I always chose to stay with my mom because that's what I was comfortable with. That's what I was familiar with. So fast forward, I moved away. I'm going to put a pimple patch on this because, oh my gosh. Fast forward, away. I lived with my dad for some time. I started working and then we moved to Pennsylvania. Now in Pennsylvania is where things got really crazy for me. And I was not set up for that move. That taste of being an adult really was a wake up call for me. It was a wake up call for how much people charge for things in life. Every little thing comes with a price. I was working at Chewy, which was the warehouse for like pet supplies. And that job was like an hour away. So I was trying to do everything I could to make money. I was working there. I was doing DoorDash, and before I started working at Chewy, I was working at I was working at Wawa, and the money was just not money. I was literally DoorDashing just to have enough money to put into my gas tank, and I still had bills to pay. It was like I was literally finding myself drowning in bills. I was very unhappy. I was miserable. And that was not a life that I wanted for myself. And I knew it wasn't. And I told you I got to a point where I was like, something has to give. My last resort is joining the military because what am I doing with myself? What am I doing with my life right now? I'm literally doing nothing. So I put my big boy underwear on. I joined the military. I started going to MEPS and doing all of those different things. And I make a video more in depth of like step by step everything that happened and how was the process for me because it wasn't easy. I was extremely underweight, so it took me some time to get my weight up to join the military because I was always a pretty slim dude in my life. Um, then I joined and I went to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri for basic training and AIT. Met some people from all over the world, from tall to short to tan to brown to dark to pale, like different languages I've never heard of, from small cities to big cities to little towns to different countries. The military has a really good way of bringing people together that have different talents that, you know, have so many different things to offer. And you just be surprised who you are standing next to. Just because that person doesn't look like they are a artist doesn't mean they aren't. Just because the person you stand next to every morning isn't telling you that they are secretly a nail tech or a musician doesn't mean they aren't. The person next to you probably was a technology specialist before they joined the military, but things changed for them and they decided to try something different in life. Maybe they joined the military for school. Maybe they joined to provide for their family and their children. Maybe they joined because they were bored, or maybe they joined because they wanted to get away from something in life. Maybe they wanted to get away from their hometown and just start all over. You just never really know what somebody's reason unless you talk to them and they're truthful with you and tell you. We are also different in the military, but we are all the same, if that makes sense. We all joined for so many different reasons. And most of us joined to get away from what we were used to. You just never really know. So let's get dressed. Let's go into my closet. It might be a little junky in there, so don't pay me too much of a mind. Being at Fort Riley, Kansas, within my first year, I went on rotation slash deployment, which really, this rotation was more of a vacation. It was to Europe, and I had such a great time. My day has already started, as you can tell. So I'm making sure that I get accountability of my people. Um, I went to Europe for 8 to 9 months, which that was a great time. Oh my gosh. That was my first time going out of the country. That was my first time being able to experience a whole nother culture like that. And I don't regret it one bit. Sorry that I'm not looking at you guys, but I'm also putting my uniform on and I don't want to be explicit while I'm in this uniform. Professionalism is everything. I was in Poland first for about 5 to 6 months, and then we finished out the rotation in Germany, and I was in Grafenor, and that was great as well. But I truly think that I enjoyed Poland more because, for one, is it's less expensive. You really get your money's worth in Europe. Like you get your money's worth in food, clothes. If you're going out to have a good time, you're going to get your money's worth. I can promise you that. Hopefully, you guys heard me. My microphone dropped. Oops. So, yeah, I had a really good time there. I would do it again. No questions asked. That was a good time of my life. I was able to gain 30 pounds. I was able to save a lot of money. I was able to really lock in on what was important in front of me and focus on being out of the country, saving money, eating right, getting my mental right, getting right with my religious beliefs, everything. So it was a good time. And then I also, before I went to Europe, I went to California for a training exercise, which is called NTC. And with NTC, I tell anybody this that has not been. One thing about NTC, you're going to do your job. You are going to be working nonstop every day. You know, until you make it out of the box, the people that know. Until you make it out of the box, that's when things will slow down. Until then, those first couple of weeks will be hectic and you will be working like crazy. I hope you guys can see me. And you actually get a chance to experience what it is in an environment that's very fast paced. There's a lot going on, it's nonstop. You are stressed out, you are sweaty every day, filthy, sand blowing in your face. You know, it's pretty crucial and it's extremely hot out there, especially if you go during the summertime from like July to like October. No, I'm sorry, July to like September time frame, yeah, it's super hot. So make sure you're drinking water. When I went to NTC, I was a private. I want to say I was a PFC, either PV2 or PFC. And all I wanted to do when I got to the military was prove that I was a good soldier. I wanted to learn my job and not just be sitting around confused, not knowing what I'm doing. Oh my God, I have like toothpaste or something on this shirt. Ew. See here? This is actually a picture of me in Germany for my birthday. I was in Berlin. I was at one of the museums. I can't remember which museum it was, but as you can tell, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Like I went there with one of my good friends named Dakuna. This is us standing outside of one of many of the museums that was out of there. Don't worry about who was on the other side of the picture. This was a snake hole that I thought was cool during the time of this trip because they were like, "Hey, let's go out on this trip together." Found out later down the line that this hole was weird. Cut up out my life. You cut. But that's neither here or there. Dak and I had an amazing time. Don't regret it, not even a little bit. This was also another picture. Do you not see the details? This museum, oh my gosh. I'm probably gonna go through my gallery and insert more pictures. But I had a great time. Oh my gosh. What do we want to smell like today? Who are we? Who are we? Who are we? Let's come into the cologne section. Let's come in a little bit. I know it's a whole lot going on up here uh with my hygiene. I got a little arthritis, pain relief cream, and my closet isn't that big, but it is a walk-in closet, so I am satisfied. Now, this is PT this morning. I don't want to wear anything too heavy, but I do want to smell pretty good. Am I feeling a roll on or am I feeling more of a spray? I think I might go with Armani. I love Armani because like it's not too strong, it's subtle, it's really sweet. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Armani this morning. And I love the bottle, love the details of it. You get a nice little squirt. And then I like to do a little bit in the back. Because when you're walking past people and they talking mess about you, make sure they can smell you. And they can never say that you stink. The time is 5:59. I've already set up accountability for this morning for me and my guys. Now I got about 15, 20 minutes ish before I have to be in formation. So I'm already dressed. I just don't have my shoes on. Well, I got slides on for now. So what I could do is go and take care of these dishes. I should have washed them last night, but I was kind of lazy. I'm not going to lie, after I cooked and everything. So let's go and take care of these dishes. And honestly, I probably should come out of my jacket. So depending on which barracks you live in, you don't even have a kitchen. You are sharing a kitchen on the floor with other people. So within the span of 4 years or less, give or take, I have been to 2 different countries. I have been to a couple different states in between for different training activities and layovers and things like that. Like even when I went to Europe and ended up getting stuck in Chicago because we had a anomaly on the plane, which actually was on the news, and we landed in Chicago for an emergency landing for like a day or two, and they gave us really good food and they gave us our own rooms for like 2 days, 2 nights. and I definitely took advantage of the Chicago food. In that hotel, I made sure that I showered as many times as I could in a day. Um, because I knew once I got to Europe, I probably was not going to have the privacy of being in my own shower. And actually, what happened was I did, but I didn't. They had two sets of showers in Poland. They had showers downstairs, which were like individual cubbies. You know, it was like a cubby, like two dividers and a curtain. And then they had an outside shower, which was like a shed. And it also had cubbies and a door and a sink and a mirror. Only downside about that was not all the time the water was hot. Hey, but hey, you know, you get what you get when it comes to the military life. Now, 6:04, let's go to knock these dishes out. This is my light. This is where the content goes down. And one thing that is also really good about the military, they teach you time management. And if you don't learn it, that's on you, because a lot of things are very time sensitive when it comes to the military. Now, yes and no. There are times where they rush us to be places at a certain time, and then we're waiting there 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours because we're waiting for things to get kicked off. So, nevertheless, it's more so if we're going to be extremely early so that way we're not late. And if things don't happen, it's not because we didn't show up on time. So, they really just show you how to manage a minute to 5 minutes to 30 minutes to an hour. So, right now, like I said, formation is at 6:30. You always want to be 10 minutes prior. If you're there at 6:30, you're already late. More than likely at 6:30, 6:29, the flag is going off. They're already taking accountability. They're already looking for you and things like that. You shouldn't be walking up at 6:30 because technically you're already late. 10 minutes prior is just a standard all the way across the board. So right now it's 6:10. I need to be in formation at 6:20, which means I have 10 minutes, including getting up, doing your hygiene, brushing your teeth, shaving, all of that. A typical day usually starts around 5 o'clock in the morning. That's like bare minimum, just to be honest. Some people are starting their days at 3 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock. If they have to get their kids up, get them dressed, give them breakfast, get them ready for school, you know, it's everybody' life is different. But I would say for me, I'm a single soldier. I have no dependents, no family here. My day usually starts around 5 o'clock in the morning. Now, if I'm on my early morning schedule where I'm going to the gym, I'm usually going to the gym between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll come back for a little bit, and between 5 and 6, I will do something else in my time. Two minutes until I need to be downstairs and ready to start my day and get ready to yell the bend and reach at 6:30 in the morning. Hope you guys like this video. Stay tuned for part 2, and I will see you again. That should work. Okay, so what did we do for PT? We did muscle failure. So I told y'all that we did PT inside of the barracks because it was raining. And we started off doing muscle failure. So we did wall squats, core, sit-ups. And we kind of did like 3 or 4 sets of that. And then we went outside for a run. We did like a little over a mile. Yeah, we did a mile, 0.49. And it was raining outside. So I kind of feel like I might get sick. My ears feel like they need to drain. But I digress. It's time for hygiene and breakfast. Thankfully, I have already shaved, so that's the least of my worries. I kind of hate this mustache. I won't lie to you. Like, it's just not. Oh, shoot. Let me connect my microphone. Hold up. The microphone. Okay, can you hear me? Is that better? I don't like this mustache. It's just like not doing it. I don't know, like let me take this up a little bit too. Like I just don't like the mustache. For me, I like a skinny mustache because I'm a skinny. You know, you know. I like a I like a skinny mustache because I'm feeling real petite. But I don't have a big face. My face is very slim. So a fat mustache on my face makes me look like a Steve Harvey on crack, a Steve Harvey on cocaine. So and that's not what we're going for. So I'm going to first do my hair, and then I'm going to take a shower. Kaleidoscope. This is the Platinum Shine Spray. I kind of use it as an oil. Um, it is raining outside, so I'm probably just gonna do a wash and go because it's probably gonna frizz up anyway. Um, and I don't want to do any like product in my hair. Usually I'll lay it down with shampoo and some oil and just lay it down like that. Sometimes I don't wash it out dependent, but now it's starting to warm up because we are about to be on April 1st. Ain't nothing funny, but I don't want to keep any product in it because once it starts to rain, like then it's just going to like bubble up. It's just going to be soapy in my head. So let's get to it. I like this one because uh this is purifying shampoo and this tea tree. I'm going to use this. And then I'm going to use this other one. I forgot the fragrance of this one, but it is a Korean shampoo and I love the way it foams up. So just gonna go with a drizzle of that. We don't really need a lot, but y'all know I am extra, so that's what happens. I probably should take my shirt off before I do this. 1 second. Got the shampoo in. Let's go with the clarifying shampoo. And water. And this is the same way that I've been doing my hair for the longest. Nothing has changed, guys. Sometimes I switch up my shampoos. That's about it. And yeah, I got my haircut last week, so it's starting to grow back, but it's still doable and maintainable. This is the back. 8 up. But we can still make do with what we have. So let's start brushing that shampoo in. Go sweat it out anyway. I'm going to use the red do-rag since we are in the red shower robe. And we're just going to come here, pull it down. And for the people that don't know how to lay their do-rag down yet, just remember this little pointy little shark fin should always be facing out and at facing at the ceiling. And then I just pull it back to tighten it. That little shark fin should always be pointing at the ceiling. That's how you know that your do-rag is on the right way. If you can't see your shark fin, you're going to have a line going down the middle of your head when you take it off. And you don't want that because it's going to look crazy. You're going to leave a nasty dent. So now I'm going to shower. I'm going to rinse this out in the shower. And then once my hair dries, before I go to work, I'll just do my skincare all over again and I get dressed. So I'll see you guys after my shower and I might do a video after breakfast. Watch the little TV, sent my last little emails so I can print some stuff out later. And this is the hair. I did put some cream on my forehead. I don't know why it's ashy like that, but y'all, when I tell y'all this stuff is a lifesaver, man. Let's put a little bit on there. I guess it looked like that because my do-rag was still kind of wet, but it'll do. I'm not tripping too much. Let's pick out which fragrance we're going to wear. Cool Mint Carmex for today. Technically, quote unquote, right? This is my Monday because we were off on Monday, but it's actually Tuesday. I'm gonna go with Barara. This one, I like this cologne a lot. The bottle. First of all, the bottle. Get into the details. Yeah, I love this bottle. This is actually the box for it. What I love about this cologne is it's really strong. You don't need a whole lot when putting this on. So yeah, with this cologne, you don't need, y'all see it, you see me. So with this cologne, you do not need a lot. It is very strong, and to me, I think it lasts all day. So honestly, you probably can get away with 2 sprays. 3 might be overdoing it, but it is very strong and it lingers. I've got so many compliments with this cologne, and one thing people always say is it lingers. Like they can tell if I was just in the hallway, if I was just in a room in the building. It's really good. This is like one of the Arabic colognes, I believe. But yeah, so let's give it a good shake. Let's spray it out a little bit. And let's do one up here. Put my top on. And get one good spray on the front. And let's do one in our back. And then I'm gonna take just a little bit on the wrist. Dab behind the ears. All right, guys, it's 9:17. I need to be to work at 9:30. I'm gonna show up at like 9:20, 9:25, because they have to unlock where we work at, so I'm not in a rush. Because when I do rush, I'm waiting. So I'm gonna just be right on time this morning. But I hope you guys have a good day. We got a short week with a lot of things to do. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See you. Oh, and I didn't tell you, I chose this cologne because it's very strong. And to me, I feel like it means business. You can smell that I'm on my way. And you can smell that I'm floating around and I got things to do. And then also at least keep me one little rollie with me of whatever little fragrance, just in case I feel like I need a little refresher because I work in a motor pool. I might end up smelling like fuel and oil, whatever else. So if I got me a little rollie to touch up, I'll be good. So see you guys later. Bye.